Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Illuminating the Sunday Stories that Bind Us, or the Sunday Scaries. If you haven't already, go get your cup of tea, and I'm going to do the same. So get a cup of tea, get whatever is going to help you feel cozy. And we'll meet back here in 3. Yeah, so let's refresh it. Even if we just do that. That's okay. Let's go here. And let's go back in the name. There I am. That's me right now. There we go. All right, I'm gonna get it.
And you do that just by popping out?
Yeah, so just refreshing it, and then there it is. But it may. Let's see if you can see, right? It's not like this. So if you click, right. All right. So hold on one second. I think. All right. So hold on one second. Hold on. Did you have that to listen to your headphones?
What?
No. Did you have headphones over?
No, but can we take the voice out? Don't worry about it. As long as I can get another one. Just turn it off. I'll turn it off.
Yes.
Good.
You
No, it's okay. Go.
want a piece of paper to write?
I got it. I brought one.
You have a pen?
Yeah, something.
All right. Thanks for waiting. We have a guest, a live guest here. And so I just wanted to make sure that she was okay, but we were having a little bit of stereo because she was watching it at the same time. So welcome back, everyone. It's great to be here again. I think this is the 6th Sunday of Illuminating the Sunday Scaries. And we have the clocks, right? The time difference now. We've spring forward. So what is this? This is really 3 o'clock. So I'm sure everybody might be thrown off a little bit. Well, at least 3 o'clock on the East Coast. Yeah, it's good to be back here. And for those of you who are just settling in, I always say get a cup of tea, get a journal, something to write with, because that's important. And anything else that's going to help you feel comfortable and cozy during this time. It's great to see everyone here this Sunday. Just a reminder, next Sunday, the 19th, I will not be here. I will be away. I'm going to a conference this week. So hopefully going to come back with even more good stuff. I'm going to be able to meet or, see and learn more from internal family systems leaders. The founder is going to be there, interviewed by Alanis Morissette. So I'm very excited about that. I know, it's exciting. So as everyone knows, what I like to do is begin by just having agreements. So first and foremost, confidentiality. I want people to feel free and safe to share in here and have it be contained in here. So whatever's shared in here stays in here to the best of our ability with this platform. I also invite everyone to have a willingness and an openness and a sense of wonder. Some of the stuff I do here may not be anything you've done before, especially some of the mindfulness work or even the parts work where I have you talk with parts of yourselves, you may feel like, oh, what is she having us do? So I ask that you just have a sense of openness and gentle curiosity to everything that we do today. I also ask everyone to practice compassion and non-judgment. Compassion and non-judgment towards yourself and some of the Sunday scaries you may be having, as well as compassion and non-judgment to others. That's important for me as well, that we can just have a space where people feel everything is okay to be shared here. Definitely have fun today and trust the process. Remember, though, that this is not therapy. This is not a substitute for therapy. What this is an add-on or an added tool, something that you can use in your life, but this is not considered therapy. So if you do have something that comes up during our time together, definitely bring it to an expert. If there's something that you feel beyond today's workshop that you really want to have recognized or be able to work through, I encourage you to do so. Okay, so again, for those of you who have been following week after week, which I am absolutely honored, it's great to have you back here. And for those of you who are here for the first time, I just want to talk a little bit about what Sunday Scaries are. So Sunday Scaries, a lot of us understand, those of us who work Monday through Friday, right? I realize that some people who have a different schedule, it may not be a Sunday scary, it may be a Saturday scary or a Friday scary. Whatever it is, it's when you know that your time of rest and relaxation is ending, and then that there's something else that's going to be coming for the week, and you start to dread it. And you may have wonderful things planned for the rest of your Sunday, or you may want a nice restful sleep, but you can't because you are spinning and spinning and spinning about something going into the week, whether it's something specific that you dread, like a presentation, or it's just general anxiety about not being able to get all that you need to get done. So Sunday scaries are super common. I believe at least 3 out of 4 people are suffering from Sunday scaries. So I hope that this is an opportunity where together we can identify what they are, because if you can name it, you can tame it, right? Hi, Laura. Thank you for being here. So if you can name it, you can tame it. And then also some of the work that we're going to do is hopefully going to help empower you so that you feel a little bit more clear and confident going into the week. And you don't feel like the Sunday scary has taken over your system. You feel like instead you've used the Sunday scary to help you learn a little bit more about yourself. You've used it to help understand yourself a little bit more, and maybe even share some wisdom with you, but it's not in the lead, and you can relax and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, as well as go into the week with more clarity and confidence. So those are the goals. Why does this work? Because awareness is 50% of the solution, and you will be more aware if you participate and work with what I offer and share during this time. So then that means you're halfway to whatever solution you need for whatever you are facing, whatever Sunday scary you're facing, or maybe it's something else. The other thing is that if we can get ahead of it and be aware of it, it helps so that it doesn't take over us. So last week, you may remember, we heard from Teddy, and Teddy is experiencing a lot of medical anxiety with appointments after appointment. Like, Teddy's entire calendar is full of different appointments, different tests, different results being shared, reports being shared. And Teddy did report that they are working with their parts a little bit more. And they realized, I'm kind of in the fog. Like, there's a lot more unknown than there is known. And so this week I'm going to go into the week with some more questions to my doctors so that I can have more clarity. Now, that is the perfect example of using this work so that you're in the lead, but the part helps you. So in Teddy's case, the health anxiety or medical anxiety, whatever Teddy decides to name that part, gave information like, hey, I'm too much in the uncertainty right now. I'm too much in the fog. Please, 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 can we get more clarity about this so that we know what it isn't and we know what it is? And that is the perfect example of how we can use these parts as consultants. We can use these parts to help us. I love the metaphor, and I might have used it in here before, that you're the conductor and the anxiety and the scaries and the other parts that we'll talk about a little bit more later on are in the orchestra. And sometimes everyone plays together, and sometimes one will stand up for a solo. Sometimes one is told to sit down, but you're the conductor and you get to call in who you want to call in. So again, why are we doing this? Why does it work? Because it's empowering and it gets us ahead of the Sunday Scaries instead of the Sunday Scaries ahead of us. The other thing is inner wisdom. I cannot tell you how many times I have facilitated this work, and I receive this work as well. So I practice, I implement it. Even, I think it was last night I had a moment where I was feeling the Sunday Scary Saturday night. I think everybody can relate to that. Like all of a sudden Saturday, I was like, well, am I going to have enough time? We're losing an hour tomorrow. Am I going to even have enough time to do all this? And so I paused and I said, okay, what do you need in order for me to enjoy the rest of my Saturday? And it was like, stay in the present moment. And so I was like, fair enough. I'm going to practice staying in the present moment. That is how amazing this work is. We do have access to wisdom within us. We just need the right questions. We just need the right opportunity, and we can get that wisdom. So that's another reason why all of this works. So I'm really excited to hear from you today and what wisdom you gain from our work together. So what are we doing? What will it look like today? And every Sunday, as of now, the framework is pretty much the same. I will guide you in a mindfulness exercise, and I encourage everyone to comment if they feel comfortable, what comes up for you, what questions you have, any kind of comments that you wish to make. Then after I do the mindfulness work, where you're going to get to know and understand what you're feeling physically, what you're feeling emotionally, and then of course the stories. So then we can get clear about what the stories are. From there, we start to get into basic parts work. So parts work is from internal family systems. It's this approach that I absolutely love from Richard Schwartz. The idea is that we have a system of parts within us. Many of us have perfectionist parts, critic parts. I always say that specifically for the Sunday Scaries, I think often it's like a time manager, or I call mine the scheduler. Just, all about just the way our society is, all the to-dos that we have to do. But there can be other parts as well that come into play. As we know with Teddy, a health anxiety or a medical anxiety, that's very common for people on Sundays, especially going into a week of appointments. So we all have these parts that are born of our family of origin or are born of a traumatic event. And our job is to self-understand them, to connect with them and lead them from our self with a capital S. And our self with a capital S has all of these 8 qualities that are listed behind me right now. So our self is calm, connected, compassionate, creative, clear, curious, confident, and courageous. So those are the 8 C's of our self. And that the self with a capital S is what we want to lead with. And again, use these parts as consultants or use these parts to just help us understand. Many of these parts are protectors or managers of our systems. So in our work today, you'll get a little bit clearer and maybe be able to identify the part that's hijacking your system on this Sunday. And then you can learn a tool or an action item that will help you go into this week feeling a little more empowered. So those are the three big things that we will do today. And again, please share at any moment, anything, any questions, anything that comes up. It always makes this experience even more rich. So, and I'm just going to check with my live participant how they're doing right now. Everything good? Good. All right. So let's begin by, for those of you who have never done any kind of mindfulness exercises, it's just a way to help you connect to the present moment. Mindfulness has been proven time and time again to help us quiet our minds and gain present moment awareness. So you'll see that I'll guide you. You don't have to do anything else. Just listen to my voice and allow it to guide you. And hopefully what it's going to do is quiet your mind and then also help you access your right brain. So what is in the right brain? So remember, our left brain is logic, linear. Our right brain is where intuition is housed. Our right brain is where creativity is housed. So whenever I do this work, I love to help people get into a space where they are accessing their right brain, where they are accessing intuition, inner wisdom, creativity. It also helps with connection. So that's what I start with. And in this mindfulness exercise, I'm also going to guide you in getting to know your Sunday Scaries a little bit more. I highly recommend, if you have a pen and paper, to use it. I think things come up as we go that is really helpful for you to write down. And again, I invite you to write it down here as well. So just taking a moment right now and just feeling yourself supported by the chair that you are sitting in, or anything that you are, if you're lying on something, just taking a moment and allowing yourself to feel supported by that. I often close my eyes. It helps me concentrate. So I invite you to close your eyes as well. And just begin by connecting with your breath. Noticing what your body feels like on the inhale, noticing what you feel on the exhale. And a lot of times when we first get quiet, that's when our mind starts to race. Emotions may come up, or maybe we even recognize physical sensations. If that happens, it doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It doesn't mean that there's something bad. Just notice it and use your breath and your connection to the ground to help bring you back to the present moment. So again, just connecting with your breath, taking a moment and noticing again what your body feels like on the inhale. And what your body feels like on the exhale. And from this very quiet and calm place within, and it may take a while, but always use your breath. Your breath is a shortcut to the present moment, and it's built in, it's there all the time to help you calm. And so from this place of calm, I just want you to allow your Sunday scaries to come to the surface. So just letting them come to the forefront without any judgment about whether or not they're good or bad. And from a place of non-judgment and gentle curiosity, just notice how you feel physically when this part is at the forefront. And just take in whatever information you can about what you feel physically. This is important because when you feel it in the future, you'll know, oh, that's one of my Sunday scaries, or that's a specific part. So just noticing where in your body you feel it, noticing what it feels like. And if you want, this is the time where you could write it down, or you can just note it. And next, just noticing what is coming up for you emotionally. What emotions are coming up with your Sunday scaries? So, yes, fear, scary is kind of in the name, but you may have some other emotions coming up. So, just noticing whatever they are. Maybe you're excited at the same time because there's something this week that you're excited about. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Whatever it is, you don't have to judge it, just note it, either by writing it down or making a mental note. So you've noticed what's come up physically, you've noticed what's come up emotionally. Next is noticing what your thoughts are. So taking note of what thoughts are coming up for you. And this is where the stories lie. So taking note of whatever stories may be running in your head about the upcoming week, whatever is coming up. Gentle curiosity, notice and gather any information about the thoughts. And once you have all that information, just again taking a moment to notice the support you're sitting on, noticing any sounds. Noticing the quality of air. And again, feeling your feet on the floor, bringing your energy to your feet. And when you're ready, coming back to our time, gathering any of the information that you gathered. And so for those of you with me, if you want to share anything that came up, if there's a thought you have about the experience, or if there's something that came up for you physically, some emotions that came up, thoughts or stories, please share them. And I'm going to wait a minute or two because there usually is a delay. So just feel free to share whatever came up. All right. So I have this wonderful live participant here, but rightfully so. They're staying anonymous, and they just shared that even on their way here, when they started to meet with the part, there was a sense of blame, which comes up a lot. And I'm really excited because in this second part, there is a part where I have you get clear about how you feel towards this part. So when they were on their way here, they were thinking, oh my goodness, like, this part causes me so much angst, or, fill in the blank. But then they had an epiphany that, wait a second, what if I stop and I listen to the part and I hear about what's going on with the part and what they're trying to convey to me? And it's like, that is it. That's it. That's it. And our parts are just like us. You know how we love to feel heard and validated and acknowledged and seen, and valued. That's exactly the way our parts feel. That as soon as they can have the non-judgmental, compassionate space to just share whatever it is, that then they're quieter because they've been seen, they've been heard, they've been validated. So again, that's why I love this work. So thank you for sharing that. And I think that's a beautiful segue because, so as you know, the first part of this, I always like to just be just a basic mindfulness. But I do like to go a little bit deeper with some surface level parts work, where in this next part, you actually meet with the part that may be at the forefront. So again, that sometimes means, sorry for the sirens, not a helpful sound. That's not helping us feel peaceful. All right. Oh, okay. So I just got completely distracted by that, but I'll get my thought again. With the basic parts work, we want to start to name the part that may be creating a lot of our Sunday scaries or Sunday stories. So for me, I would say it's almost 80 to 90% of the time it's my scheduler. Unfortunately, my scheduler gets really panicked on Sundays about whether or not I'm going to be able to do all that I need to do. Then there's the other times where it may be something specific that's coming up. It may be a worrier about family. It may be, a perfectionist part. It may be a people pleaser part, like something that happened earlier in the weekend where I'm feeling nervous about something I said or did. Those are some of the other parts, but most of the time for me, it's a scheduler. Last week, we heard from Teddy, where most of the time right now and what they're facing in life, it is a part that is feeling some medical or health anxiety going into the week. So it depends. It depends. And that's usually what this part is where you can kind of decide, what were the stories that came up in the first part, and can I assign those to a specific part? And then there's the naming of the part, which can be fun. So I came up with scheduler because that's just the way I feel about this part, but you can name it anything else. And in this next part, what I'm going to do is help guide you in having a conversation with that part. So sometimes when I do this work with my clients, they're like, Jennifer, are you making us have multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder? And the answer is no. We could have as little as and as many parts as possible. It does not indicate any kind of problem that we have. What it does is it helps give language. It helps give recognition to whatever that part is. So please, take any judgment that you may have or any movies you may have seen or shows, and that's not what this is about. So I'm going to guide you. And again, all you need to do is follow my guidance in getting to know this part better. And I will ask it two very specific questions. The first question that you will know is we're going to ask this part what its intention is and what its purpose is in your system. So we don't always want to believe it's true, but it's true that these parts are really, really trying to help us. They are trying to benefit us in some way. And when they're balanced and when they're just doing what they're supposed to do, and we are in the lead with our S with a capital, ourself with a capital S, they're fine. It's when they work to an extreme and it's when they hijack our system and they are in the lead and they are in control, that's when we feel out of balance and that's when it's not working. So this work helps us to separate. And the word that they use in internal family systems is unblend from the part so that there isn't as much charge or energy or hijacking. I think the word hijacking really sums it up well. And instead, we're coming from this calm, curious place. It's more neutral. And we meet with the part and try to learn more from it. So we learn what its intention and its purpose is. And then the second question is what that part needs to calm down. And you will be so surprised. These parts will tell you something. Sometimes clients will say, oh, it's not saying anything. And then I just encourage them to sit with it a little bit longer. And suddenly a quote will come up, a practice, a song, anything. It's amazing, an image. And that's intuition. That is your intuition. That is your inner wisdom and the energy of this part giving you information that will help you. And that's the tool that I'm hoping you will be able to take with you for the week. So if there are any questions about anything I've done, you can please feel free to post a comment. I'm going to wait 1 minute just to see, because again, there is a bit of a delay, and I'm just going to check with my live person here as well. So I'm just going to mute it, but I'll be right back and see before we go in if there's any questions. All right, so they just made the excellent point that when you think about these parts and you think about Sunday Scaries, they're so charged you don't want to go there, right? You want to ignore it. You want to numb it. You don't want to feel it. You just want it to go away. But the problem is then they so very smartly just said, you then avoid it or you deny it, right? So now we have denial or avoidance or just ignoring it. And where does that get us? Where does that get us? This is the thing. I always tell my clients, avoidance is not the antidote. Avoidance is not going to be what helps you heal. And I know it takes courage and it takes bravery, because many times we think if we go to these parts, we're going to completely implode, but it's actually the opposite. When we can go to these parts with calm, curious, compassion, then we can bring a different energy to it. Then we can illuminate them, shine light on them, and then they're not hidden, coming out to get us in the middle of the night. They're there and they're brought to light. So thank you very much. We need to do this work and we need to face these things. And that's really the essence of my mission to help us gain the tools to illuminate the Sunday stories, illuminate the Sunday scaries. Otherwise, they take hold of us, and that's it. So now moving into the basic parts work, I'm going to have everybody get quiet again, because you always want to meet these parts with that same inner calm. And sometimes we may not be able to. Sometimes the part has hijacked our system so much we cannot find the calm. And if that's the case, you don't worry about doing anything other than connecting with your breath. Anything but connecting your breath, because that is going to at least increase the calm. And we want to at least do that. But the goal is that eventually you do get to a place where you can separate from the part and you can meet it with calm neutrality, so we can get this information, the part can feel heard and all that. So I'm just going to guide you right now to get quiet, and then again, just follow my questions and my guidance, and it'll be fine. And thank you for trusting the process and your openness to do so. So just again, feeling yourself supported by the chair you're sitting in, feeling supported by whatever support you have, and taking a moment to connect with your breath. And there isn't anything else you need to do right now other than that. So again, just noticing what your body feels like on the inhale, noticing what it feels like on the exhale. So in this quiet place, allowing whatever Sunday scary or whatever part is hijacking your system to come to the forefront. And just taking note again what it feels like inside your body when this part is in the lead. And now with your mind's eye, so in your imagination, and I know it may sound strange, but please have an openness and willingness. I want you to imagine that you can separate from this part. So it's in your mind's eye and in your imagination. You are separating from this part. This part is taking form outside of your body. And you're placing this part at a conversation distance from you. And so when this part is at a conversation distance from you, so I always like to imagine it just in, I think I've shared this before. When I do this work, I often imagine my childhood home and my basement. I don't know why. And I'm sitting in one part of my basement and this part is in another part of the basement. And so they show up and they take form. So for me, when these parts take form, I usually see a cartoon or I see a part of myself. I have clients that see colors. When a part comes up, there is no judgment. This is where you can use imagination, and imagination is quite creative and healing. So just allow whatever takes form in front of you as the image. And now this goes back a little bit to what a participant shared earlier, that, when you first see the part, you may blame it or just be really frustrated and angry with it. So just take a moment right now, and I want you to notice, what are you feeling towards the part? And just notice whatever that is. It could be anger, it could be sadness, frustration. So just notice whatever it is that you are feeling towards the part. And just asking that feeling. So let's say it's anger or frustration, to just kind of step aside. You see it. It hang out with us, but we don't want that to be in between you and the part. We want you to be able to approach the part with neutrality and compassion and curiosity. So again, that breath work that we do can usually help us get to that place. So just reconnecting with your breath. And seeing if you can meet this part with neutrality, compassion, curiosity. And from that place of calm, curiosity, and compassion, I want you to ask the part what its intention is and what its purpose is in overtaking your Sunday. And then just listen. So again, just asking the part, what is your intention and purpose in overtaking my Sunday? And I'm going to just write that question down in the comments while you listen. And those of you who listened, if you want to share what came up for you, you're welcome to do that. Or you can write it down. And I always like to thank the part at this point. So thanking the part, because usually it has good intentions. It is trying to protect you or help you in some way, just maybe doing it a little bit too much. So I always invite this opportunity to say, thank you for doing that. However, you are taking over my Sunday. You are interrupting my sleep. You are working on overdrive. And I really need you to calm down so that I can enjoy my Sunday, so that I can go into my week feeling calm. So just communicate with this part. Let it know. Again, thank you for what it's saying it's helping you with. Note that. But then explaining to it, but this isn't working for me. I want to get good rest. I need to get good rest to heal. I need to get good rest to be alert tomorrow. I want to enjoy the rest of my Sunday with my family. So noting that as well. And then coming to this next part and asking the part. So again, sitting with the part and asking it, what does it need to calm down and step back so that you can enjoy your Sunday, so that you can sleep, so that you can go into your week? Asking it what quality, what characteristic, or maybe it's a practice or an action, a quote, a song. Just ask and then listen. And again, writing down any wisdom that may be coming up for you right now. This is the part that always fascinates me. It's amazing what wisdom these parts will share. Oftentimes, things I can't even come up with. Just thanking the part for whatever wisdom that it shared with you. Sometimes this is also a good time to ask if there's any other wisdom it wants to share. Another question you can ask is there an image or an object that could help you remember this wisdom? It's called an anchor, when you can connect whatever it is that you learn in this process to something like a stone or a piece of jewelry. It's amazing what these parts will show you. So just asking, is there an object or an image or something that you can use to help remind you throughout the week of the wisdom that this part shared with you tonight? I'm just writing these down in the comments so that you can see them and use them. So again, thanking the part for whatever wisdom it shared with you, for whatever anchor it shared with you, the object or the image that you can use throughout the week to help remind you of whatever wisdom came up. And before we come back together and you share whatever came up for you, I want you to imagine again in your mind's eye this part coming back into your system, because remember, they're a part of us and they want to be reintegrated into your system. And now hopefully they're a little less charged. So in your mind's eye, you're just going to imagine them coming back into your system. Again, thanking them for all the wisdom that they shared. And then just taking a few deep breaths to just help everything integrate. And again, just feeling yourself supported by the chair you're sitting on. Noticing the quality of air around you. Noticing any sounds. And when you're ready, you can come back to our space and time together. And if anyone would like to share anything that came up in that exercise, I invite you to do so right now. I'm going to go ahead and press mute again and check in with my live participant here. So my live participant just shared how in the beginning, um, her shoulders were so tight, and that's that's the part, right? That's the part. The part is tense, and people can feel their parts in all different places, in their head, in their chest, in their stomach. Um, in this case, it was felt in her shoulders, and it was so tense that she had to keep going back to her breath to try and calm her shoulders. I would like to say that there are some parts who are very afraid of letting go, and they don't want to be in a position where yourself is in the lead. And that's just because they don't think that you'll be safe. They don't think that it's safe to let go. And that happens that happens a lot. And so that's why you just keep trying to strengthen your self energy with your breath, with your calm, so that hopefully there's enough space that maybe the part surrenders a little bit and trusts and can let go and just allow your body to relax, allow you to relax. So it's a common thing that happens. Is there anything else? And I'm just going to press mute again. Yeah. Yes. Now you know the part, and that alone is empowering. Now you have a relationship with the part. Even if you now have a daily practice where you try to meet with the part, you journal with the part, um, or you may decide that you want a daily practice where you work on connecting with calm, right? This is where mindfulness work, meditation work, we all have heard. Yeah. If anybody wants to share anything else, please do. Um, I know this is around the time that we start to wrap up, but hopefully you have an action item for this week. You have something that you're going to remember this week, whether it's strengthening the calm and doing more breath exercises or meditation, or maybe it's talking to the part more, or maybe it's the wisdom that the part was able to give you. Maybe some of you were able to collect some wisdom about the part or from the part that is going to help you feel more relaxed tonight, feel more calm, going to the week more empowered. Whatever it is, take note of that. And if there is something that did come up for you and you would love to have more attention brought to it, or maybe you would love some advice, I do have a letters to Jen service where you can write. I'm going to just share a form right now. And this form is a Google form. You do not have to identify who you are, and you share maybe a Sunday scary or a story or something that came up for you today that you wish you could have more advice about. So you can fill out that form here, and then I always say, and Misty as well. Misty, the first letter I ever wrote, Misty like leaned her head onto the notepad. True story. If you go to my Instagram or Facebook page, you can see that the very first story that I responded to, Misty was a part of. So now she's a part of all of them. Um, I write back advice to hopefully help you. And then we put that on Instagram. Again, it's all on anonymous and Facebook, because chances are if you have a story about it, someone else does too. We're not alone in this. Believe me, we're not alone. So it helps unbind all of us when you illuminate a story that's binding you. The other option is my podcast. Again, you can remain anonymous for this. And the podcast, not only will you get some illumination around whatever story is binding you, you also get a song prescribed to you. So I work with singer-songwriter Shannon Ward, and we come up with a song to help you break through whatever story may be binding you. So I just shared the form for you to sign up for that as well. And last but not least, if you found this helpful in any way, you can give a donation and I will gratefully receive it. I'm just going to share that right here. And if you feel moved that this was helpful and you want to have that exchange, that's an option as well. I am just so grateful that you shared your Sunday evening with me and you did this. And I hope that you have some more space now to enjoy your Sunday and go into your week feeling a little bit more empowered and like you have some sort of tool to help you. And remember that next Sunday, March 19th, I will not be doing this. I will be in Washington, D.C. Actually, at that point, I will be in an airplane coming back from Washington, D.C. And so we're skipping next week, but I really hope to see you in 2 weeks. And again, love any comments or feedback about this. This is only number 6. I know the time sometimes is tough for people, especially as we go into spring and summer. So there may be some room to adjust that. And especially if that means that more of you can be a part of it live, because when we can have interactions and comments, it's even more fruitful. I'm grateful for my live participant today that gave lots of good fodder for me to work off of. It's just as you can tell, better that way. So know that that's always an option. That's part of what makes this a special time together. And let me know in between if you have any questions or any thoughts. And thank you again for being a part of this and all of your time. And take good care. Bye.